Hello, my name is Marianne. This is Standing in the Gap for Our Children. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, a teacher and an actor who uses his creativity to help children know their talents. Thank you for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the work you do with children?
Great. My name is Ephantus Karevi Mugo. People call me Karevi Mugo, majority of the people, but the children call me Mr. E because they identify me with elephant, so they call me Mr. Elephant. So I am a drama teacher, or what you call a teacher of drama. But I'm professionally trained as a teacher. But I made a choice to actually concentrate on identification and training of talents. And the reason being that you will find that if you go to the international school curriculum, that is the IGCSE curriculum, there's so many opportunities for every child to grow their talents. But when you go to our Kenyan curriculum, the concentration was on the drama festivals, music festivals, which not every child was doing. So children were being pushed to either make a choice to be in the drama, make a choice to be in the music, or make a choice to be in the sports. Whereas in the international schools, they try to develop every child in a holistic manner. So I identified a gap and I decided that I want to create a platform where it doesn't matter which curriculum the child is having, but they can actually come to our talent academy and get trained in all these aspects of training.
Amazing. What inspired you to combine your love for acting with mentoring children?
You know, when I cleared high school, I wanted to be an actor. I want to join groups like or companies like Heartstrings. Auditions were tough and coming through, and apart from just auditions, joining both the theater and the film industry, the TV industry in Kenya was very tough because one, the opportunities were not very many like today, and there were also cartels that were governing the whole industry. So I looked at it and I said, a child who grows having these skills, you don't want to get there and then learn. You learn when you're small and you get there, then that child gets more opportunities. Because you see, we grew up in an environment where you want to do something, but nobody even in your family understands what you want to do. So you have a talent, but people want you to be an accountant. Personally, I started doing accounts first. So I was to become an accountant, yet I am a dramatist. So how do you balance the two? What your parents want you to become and what you are. So I decided if I was able to change this, not for me, but for the generation to come, so that children are able to be nurtured, and apart from that, and you're nurturing the children, educating the society, and still educating the parents, the importance of all this. So that, because you see, another day I was having a discussion with someone, and we were saying, when a child learn acting, they may not even end up becoming an actor, but they will be better placed in terms of communication skills, in terms of critical thinking. So we are preparing a generation that tackles life in a different way. I always ask my students, if you were a doctor, why would you need acting skills? We have had cases where people in a hospital, they have a patient, and this patient died. The patient died. How do you convey the message to the relatives of this particular patient? You have had doctors who tell someone, you will die. You have a few weeks to survive. Okay? Even when they take, like, say, they take your blood and whatever, they give you the results. the way they tackle the facial expressions can actually kill you. Okay? And why are they not able to do that? Because they don't know drama. If they knew drama, then they would know how to even smile to that person who is dying. Because the most important thing is giving hope. And even if a person was to live one more week, can they live that one more week happy? Rather than die even after 2 days instead of those 2. You see, so drama really helps people to even know how to live it up. It's a life skill. And so when I came to understand this, then I decided this is exactly what I want to do. And I want to impact it more to children.
Easy. Could you share a story of a child whose life was transformed by discovering their challenge?
There's quite a number of stories that I can share. So many. One, I always give people an example of my own son. And I always say that my son, when he was small, he had a challenge. And he had a challenge of voice. He would not speak anything till he was 4 years old. Okay? And it was worrying. It reached a point where the mother was worried and she was saying, we need to see a doctor. But I said, I don't think. He's an active boy, he's a good. So what do? We got him to Gifted Kids Creative Center. And through acting, interacting, we used to give him a minor role where he's not saying anything. He's in a group, but others are maybe shouting, coming on stage, saying, maybe yell to the king, hey, yell to the king or something. And he will try to say what others are saying along the way. Choral verses, you assume that you can speak, put him in a certain character, let him be there, do the actions, and try to say the lines with others. And today, the boy has been in TV shows. He was in Becky as Jeff. We never consulted any medic on this. We tackled it. And I could realize, even when he was younger and he was growing up, I could realize that the processing of his brain, because I've done psychology as a teacher, quite a lot. I've also studied child development stages as a teacher. So I could identify challenges that he's facing, and one of the challenges that I saw he was facing when he was younger is his brain processing. I could tell, like you talk to him, and then he would take time before he processes. Actually, if you don't know him, you would worry. You would tell him he's keeping quiet. He doesn't want to answer. But I realized that I needed to give him that activity, memorization, words, that his brain opens up. The mind of any child. I tell people this story that when I was in the university, I joined the university. As a second year in the university, a certain lecturer discovered what I could do. So I was doing film and theatre arts, but I would go help that lecturer to teach English literature students that year, theatre unit. I helped one of the lecturers teaching me to develop his thesis for his master's when I was probably a second year. So and this is what I've been advocating to parents, that let's do drama not for the sake of just creating actors, but creating characters, creating people who can think. Because we are having a challenge. You try reasoning with some people out here, and you'll be surprised how they reason, how they process their things, how they see things. And all this needs to be trained. And that's why the children. Yes.
That's amazing. What simple steps can parents take to encourage their children's creativity?
That's quite interesting. The biggest challenge we have is that what we want for ourselves, what we understand with the world out there. For example, let's take music. As a parent, maybe I don't love music. I don't even think music is important, or say dance, for example. But I think that robotics is better. It's science oriented. So I want my child to do what I want, what I think, what my opinion is, rather than study what my child is talented in and let my child fly in their own way. I will give you an example. I am a father of 4 sons. Okay? So speaking from a parent's point of view, I say one, everyone in my house must do drama. This drama is not what they become. It's what shapes their thinking, their critical thinking, the creativity and imagination, and the communication skills, because these are things that we all need in life, regardless of what they become. So these are basics. Then I started trying to identify what they are good at themselves. So my first one, he's a beautiful actor, great. He edits even all my videos and manages my social media pages. But he's more science oriented. He loves physics. Okay? And he wants to do engineering courses. Okay? He's also good in languages, so he has been actually doing his own studies, self-studies, online on different languages, so he can speak Spanish. He has not done it in school. He has taught himself online because he's very good on computers. So what, as a parent, I am not science-oriented, but I support him in science-oriented career. So I've been trying to look at what is good for him. Where do I take him for that? Experts in that particular area, which I am not in. How do I approach them for them to guide me on how I guide him to that particular direction? So I've done a lot of research, even on things like data analysis, because he has an interest in that. But I want him to also have skills in these other areas. So I know he's a very good cameraman at his age. He's very good at video editing, very good at graphics and so on, because I want him to have some skills. My second one, he gave me the worst nightmare of my life, because he wanted to be a painter. Holidays, I went to BIFA to ask whether they can pick a child so that over the holidays he goes to train. No college wants someone who is under 18. I looked for teachers. The teachers were not serious. I want him to do professional work so that he can go for exhibitions. Okay? But teachers I'm getting, they just want to help him draw pencil work. And I want him to go beyond pencil work. So what do? I started supporting him by buying him a good laptop, making sure that he can access online courses on painting, so that he does it self-taught. And the only thing I do is guide him. And he has been doing it. And he has booklets and portfolios of his work. Luckily, he went again to a school that had art as a subject. So again there, he does very well. It's actually his best subject. Get the point?
Yeah.
I've also taken time to take him to art galleries. So sometimes I take him to art galleries. I actually ask him the hard questions that I want him to go and ask in the art galleries. Why? Because I want him, as per now, to start visualizing the art business and understand how the world works in terms of art business. So I want him to go and ask, how much do you earn? Art, how do you source for the art? Can I make money out of this? I want him to ask the hard questions. And it starts by me asking him those hard questions. And I ask him, what is the future with art and AI. We discuss all those things. Okay? Now we come to my third one. Good actor, he's on billboards, adverts, he's on TV shows, he's on films, he's a good face for camera. But he loves football. Though as much as he's acting, I also take him for soccer academy. Because that's what he loves. You get the point? And I don't know between the acting and the soccer which will activate. But for me again, I'm looking at soccer as an opportunity to create discipline in his career. So whatever way he picks on. You get the point? So you have asked what steps can you take? The steps is one, accepting as a parent that your child could be doing something that is not what you believe in. And number two, looking at the processes of, so doing a research, but also understanding that anything that your child does, it starts from brain development. So pick on something that your child can do at a certain level that builds their confidence, their communication skills, and helps them grow their brain. Then, process-wise, they identify themselves. But again, where need be, involve a mentor to discover and guide their child.
And through that, you are standing the gap for your children.
Yes.
Thank you for being a perfect example of how creativity transforms children's lives. To our viewers, let's continue to stand in the gap for our children by nurturing their gifts. Until next time, keep standing in the gap for our children.
Standing in the gap. Bye.